Patterson blasts all that. Diving save hard as he flashes across. Maher sends up Carl side of the net to play the score. Maher moving in, stops, cuts to the middle, still has a shot. Score! Here's Hughes giving it across. Oh, save by Maher. Two on one. He's an angle. Short-handed mid. He scores. Cruising is Provorov. He scores! Ivan Provorov!
What is going on, everyone, and welcome back to the Flyered Up Podcast. I am your host, Amedeo and Grassia. Chris Maher cannot join us today because he is very busy with school, so let him focus on all of that stuff. He'll definitely join in a later podcast dates. Sad, I feel bad for him. He is very busy with Temple and all that. I told him, dude, I feel bad for you. That's what I went through. But hey, got to go through your day-to-day life like that. You got to take it one day at a time, and he'll be back with us for a future pod. We are live streaming on the Painted Lines, TTP Sports, and not FLYERSFANMANIA 93 since Chris is not joining us today, but still. We are on a various amount of my Twitter pages, the Painted Lines Twitter pages, YouTube channels, everything, Facebook, also everything like that. So if you cannot find this Flyered Up Podcast, you're definitely crazy. But if you don't or are not able to tune into this podcast live, it is going to be on Apple, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcasts at. Yes, this is definitely going to be going up on Apple and Spotify after this stream is over. I know I see in a comment section right here saying that Charlie O'Connor, I did see that Charlie O'Connor post that he's claiming it's just a post-practice interview. But, there's going to be questions looming about the trade deadline and all that stuff. And basically, it's just a Claude Giroux press conference. So who knows how long it's actually going to be. But, there's going to be questions thrown about there with, is he going to waive his no movement clause? Because there have been rumors circling about that I do think there's some falsehood and some truth to them. That he is going to waive his no movement clause. He's going to give Chuck Fletcher his his team trade list of teams that he would accept a trade to. And Colorado, you're getting all these rumors with Danny Briere constantly scouting them the past couple of games. So I think there's truth to them, and I think there is some falsehood because why would a random Colorado beat reporter get that type of news before any of the Flyers guys? So that's because when you see at 12 p.m. Sam Carchidi post, Claude Giroux press conference in 45 minutes, we're just all sitting here, do our day-to-day lives, doing nothing. We see that Twitter posts, and it's like, oh my God, is it actually happening? Is Claude Giroux going to test our emotions today? I'm just like, man, Claude really wants to test my emotions today. It's going to be one of those days. So, there are going to be some of those questions talking about the trade deadline and all that. That's not going to be avoided. So, there's going to be a lot of stuff. Oh, yeah, dude, I completely agree with you. My heart dropped when I saw those Twitter posts. I was just like, instant podcast, instant live stream. We got to get a reaction here. And I know we haven't done much in a bit. That's generally because when Chris has been really busy with school, so I don't like doing podcasts without him just because it's our thing. So, but this is something that we just can't avoid. Sadly, this is one of the biggest news out of the Flyers. And sadly, the Flyers have just been really bad, and there really hasn't been much to talk about. Really, the only thing you can be talking about is, Claude Giroux with the trade deadline, all that stuff. So when you're constantly talking about the Flyers losing games the same way, losing yesterday to Pittsburgh, so everything is just going to be, oh my goodness, it's the same shit over and over and over and over and over again. So yeah, it's just, this is going to be an interesting one. It's going to be definitely testing some Flyers fans' emotions. That is definitely going to be the reason. Nick says, what time is the press conference? So Sam Carchidi posted the Twitter post at 12 p.m. saying it would be in 45 minutes. So I would assume it would be at 12:45, quarter of one, something around there. So we're just going to have to wait most likely until quarter of, which is not for another 6 or 5 minutes. So we got some time to talk right here. So definitely leave some questions in the comment section, leave them in the live feed, and I'll definitely try to answer them the best. Let's just have a discussion right now before, Claude Giroux gets on the press conference board as I am scrolling through Twitter today just to see if there's literally anything that is going to happen, any other news But yeah, it's just we're getting to the inevitable. I think that's the major point right now. We are getting very, very, very close to the inevitable. We got Raymond James here saying, as an Avalanche fan who loves Giroux and has a ton of Flyers jerseys, I sure hope I can add an Avalanche jersey. It'll be weird not to see him in the orange and black man, dude. Yes, I am expecting it to happen, but I am dreading this day whatsoever. And Raymond, as an Avalanche fan, what are you willing to give up for Claude Giroux? Because I know there's rumors out there talking about. I know right now SeatGeek does not want to give up Newhook, even though at the end of the day, I think Newhook's more of a pipe dream than anything, just because of how much, like, how highly touted he is in the Avalanche system and how he's been this year and how he's like a big part of their future. So who will you be willing to give up? I know guys like Tyson Jost have been brought up in the trade rumors. Barron, one of their prospect defensemen, have been brought up as well. So who would you be willing to give up to acquire a Claude Giroux? Because you see the Tyler Toffoli trade a couple of days ago to Calgary, getting a first round, a fifth round pick, and also a prospect in return. So do you think Claude Giroux is worth? I know a lot of people want to discuss the reason because of, term, rental, and all that, but that's kind of a discussion. I feel like if you're going all in for the trade deadline for a rental, Claude Giroux is probably one of the better rental pieces in the past couple of years. So I think there's going to be a major bidding war for Claude Giroux. And it just, Chuck Fletcher can't screw this up. He has to get the best offer possible. And for the Avalanche, who knows? Who knows whatsoever? So Raymond says, yeah, I think Newhook is definitely a no. That's definitely a major pipe dream. If, like, for some reason Colorado is desperate, I really don't see them trading Newhook whatsoever. Yeah, comp for Barron picks. Yeah, that's something more of the line. I would definitely. Yeah, Ronta is one of the other prospects that I've heard about. Captain Jelly says, I'm going to live stream the press conference when it comes up on Twitter. That's what I'm assuming it's going to be on. So I'm just basically waiting for the stream to come up. Then I'll share the screen up with you guys so you can just stick around here and watch that with me. Yeah, must screen. Yeah, Newhook is a definite no. Yeah, I definitely agree. Yeah, Ronta is an option. Johan says, if he leaves, I'm lasering off my Flyers tattoo. Yeah, Newhook is definitely not going anywhere. So that's completely not a possibility at this point. Carol says Barron would be nice, especially with Braun and Risto on their way. Yeah, Barron would be a nice piece. Definitely, I think he has a top 4 potential or something like that. So there's definitely a lot of ways this trade deadline can go. If you're looking at St. Louis, if you're looking at Minnesota, if you're looking at Colorado, some of these teams have some pieces that you can bring back. Because I would assume, because I did see a rumor that Chuck Fletcher might not be looking for picks and he's looking for NHL-ready prospects, which would be fine too if you're trying to compete next year. Getting guys that are NHL-level ready players probably would be the better way to go, but getting draft picks is also very nice as well, especially with how deep next year's draft is. So that would be definitely something to look at. No matter what happens, it can't be as weird as when Bobby Clark had a press conference when he rips the C off of Lindros's jersey. Oh, God. Anthony DeMeo says, stockpile on 2023 draft picks. Dude, I would love that. I would absolutely straight up the car for Claude Giroux. I take that. Jelly says that I don't think the Avs are going to get him. Yeah, it's going to be a bidding war, no doubt about it. It's good. I think it's going to be one of the 3 teams that are rumored. It's most likely going to be Colorado, Minnesota, or St. Louis. Those are the 3 teams I'm expecting. Definitely, you can throw in teams like Carolina into the fold, but at the end of the day, it's Claude Giroux's decision on where he wants to go. So I do think those 3 teams are going to be more on the Western Conference side. That's what I'm assuming it's going to be. I don't know who is on his 10-team trade list, but a team like New York could use him, or the Wild. Yeah, I do think it's more going to be a Western Conference team. That's just my expectation. So right now we're getting very close to possibly when he's going to talk. So I wonder when that is going to happen. That's just so it said 45 minutes at 12 o'clock. So let me just bring up the share screen. Let me try to. So let me get share screen up here, Chrome tab, Flyers Twitter. Let me bring this up here. So basically, also other news with the Wells Fargo Center for Flyers and Sixers fans, that they're not requiring the vaccination cards anymore. You still have to wear a mask, but they're not requiring vaccination status. So that's something that is, I guess, the bright side for some people. So Phantom 28 says Giroux is announcing he is trading himself. Carol says Florida emerging as a possibility who would be good for them. Yeah, that would be an interesting as well. Florida definitely would have some pieces to trade along for the Flyers. Honestly, imagine Florida. Honestly, just imagining Florida or Colorado with Claude Giroux, how stacked both of those teams would be. Jesus. Florida, both of those teams are fun to watch. Just imagining Claude Giroux in either of those teams. My God. I'm just like, man, imagine that. Imagine that. So I'm going to constantly refresh this page. I'm going to go on this Twitter page as well, just to see if anything could happen. So let me go back to my homepage. I'm just going to keep refreshing here at this point. Claude Giroux says he wants to play with Joel Embiid and James Harden. Book it. Oh, man. Oh, man. Vincent DeMarco says that Rangers could give one of the best returns, but seems very unlucky. Yeah, at this point, it's where Claude Giroux wants to go. I don't think he's going to choose the Rangers because of the rivalry standpoint. I really do expect it to be more of a Western Conference team. That is just my expectation right here. Just send Giroux to LA and fix our power play issues. If only were that simple, sadly. If only it were that simple. Okay, Twitter. Where's his press conference at? 12:46. It's 12:46. Claude Giroux, where you at, buddy? Where you at, Claude? Oh man, let me see. Are they not doing it on YouTube either? I want to see this. They are not doing it on YouTube. I don't expect it. No, I see my live stream on YouTube. But yeah. Owen Tippett has been in trade rumors. Ginger for Ginger. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I think that's the definite standpoint on here. It is really, really going to be interesting. They have talked about how the team loved Berube, so who knows? Yeah, it's definitely a who knows process. I do believe it's going to be one of those three teams: St. Louis, Colorado, or Minnesota. That's what I am expecting at this point. Just because I don't think Claude Giroux wants to be traded to an Eastern Conference team. Just he wants to put himself most likely in the Boo Stars. I'm sorry, I'm trying to refresh the Twitter page as best as I can. It is not updating. Come on, Flyers. Where come on, where's his press conference at? Come on. I just want to watch Claude Giroux. I want to be sad. I don't want to cry. I don't want to cry, but I want to be sad. Like, don't get my emotions up, G. Phantom says, me personally, I do not believe that report that came out about the three teams, but who knows? Yeah, it's basically a who knows at this point. It's until you see it happen, it's what is probably going to happen. But I just do feel it's going to be more of a Western Conference team. I just don't feel like Claude Giroux wants to be traded into the Eastern Conference. But you never know. You never know. It's his choice at the end of the day. It is his choice. So, yeah. Oh, man, where's this press conference? I swear to God, if they put it back to, like, 1 o'clock, I'd be very upset. So, yeah, I guess looking back at the recent Flyers stretch, Don Vito says, why is Newhook a no? Just because the rumors that were already brought up, like I think it came from NHL Rumors Daily or something like that, and just a bunch of other Colorado beat reporters saying that Joe Sakic does not want to give up an Alex Newhook, and that's probably going to be a very unlikely scenario. So really the only chance Colorado gives up an Alex Newhook is if they really get desperate and they really want to win the bidding war, and I really don't see that happening at that point. I just don't. Yeah, Phantom says West for sure. I just don't believe it because why the Blues? Yeah, that's understandable at that point as well. That's definitely very understandable. Oh my God, where is this press conference? Nick says, off topic, do you think they move to before next season? I know his stock went down after the breakdowns. Nah, they have to trade him this year because his contract expires. They have to trade him at this deadline to get any type of value back. Oh, TK, that's what you mean. Do you think they trade TK? Honestly, I think anything's on the table this offseason. Anything is definitely on the table. Definitely. Kevin says he's going to get his 1K mark on March 17th and be traded after. No point in keeping him when he will walk after the season anyway. I definitely agree. I agree with that. You got to get your value for Claude Giroux when you have the opportunity to. Try to get a captain return because we aren't going anywhere. Yeah, try to get a return for him. You have to get the best possible return. I completely agree with that. Where is this press conference? Claude Giroux, what are you doing? And I see that we have 69 viewers in this stream currently. Nice. Can I get a nice in the live feed? Don says, do you think we can get value for Ristolainen? I do believe we can. If there were rumors about other teams that were possibly offering first-round picks for Rasmus Ristolainen, I definitely think you can get at least that for Rasmus. I definitely can. I think you can get it. It's just sadly right now he is injured. So yeah, sadly he is banged up right now. So hopefully it's not until the trade deadline. Phantom 28 says it's hard to say for TK because he was already told they could have traded him but believed in him. So do they still believe in him? That's just I think anything is on the table for Chuck Fletcher in the offseason. Should try to right this ship. Does that mean Konechny could possibly be traded? Sanheim could possibly be traded. JVR, honestly, they could try to find a way to get rid of him. I have no idea. I think there's a lot of options on the table. There definitely is. Maybe G is restructuring his contract to $1 million to allow some cap space. He's announced. Playing with my emotions. Playing with the emotions. And I see Chris is currently live right now for his press conference view. Yeah, I know Chris. Yeah, Chris said he couldn't join the podcast because he's only going to be doing the presser and he has to go do other school stuff. So basically, I'll probably be on a little bit longer than him. So if you want to flip back and forth between Chris's press conference, I definitely don't blame you whatsoever. Jesus. Where is this press conference? Where is it at? Where's that? Where's it at? Flyers. I swear to God, they moved it back to 1. JVR is like the scar that won't go away. Oh, man. Oh, man. Philadelphia Flyers. Such an interesting conversation. I agree. Phantom 28 says rumors were 8 teams offer the first-round pick for Risto or something like that. If that was the case, I do believe you can get a first-round pick back because, in my opinion, he's considerably better now than he has ever been. Yeah, I believe that. I completely believe that. If there's a team that's competing, looking for just another defenseman to add that has some physicality that plays the way Ristolainen can, I do believe you get a first-round pick for Ristolainen. I think a competing team will give up that much for Ristolainen. Because if there are teams that are trying to go in to win a Stanley Cup this year, they really don't care what assets they give up. So that's basically this trade deadline. You have to get your best offer for Claude Giroux. Basically, the 2 most valuable pieces you have at the trade deadline this year are Claude Giroux and Rasmus Ristolainen. That's basically it. And then basically your other expiring contracts, Yandel, Brassard, Braun, Jones. I know the rumor talking about Jones in Edmonton that the Flyers wanted higher than a 5th-round pick for him. So we're definitely just going to have to wait and see what happens in that standpoint. We got Keith saying, G walks out like a wolf on Wall Street and says, I ain't going anywhere. Carol says, what do you think Braun will fetch? A 2nd rounder? Maybe you get maybe like a B or C level prospect. Maybe you could get maybe more of an earlier to mid-round draft pick. I don't think he gets you that much, but you never know. Some teams would cough up something for a bottom pairing defenseman just that they can have in their lineup. So you never know. Nick says, Atkinson is one of the bright spots from the offseason trade. Thankfully, we got him. Just sucks he is on the wrong side of 30. Yeah, I do think Atkinson is one more of those guys that they look to, keep around for next season just because he's one of those guys that says he wants to be a Flyer. So I wouldn't mind keeping Atkinson. He's been one of the more brighter spots this year out of the very few. Ryan says, load up on 1st and 2nd round picks. Yeah, do whatever you can. Do whatever you can. Get as much value as you can for any of these trades. Sophie goes, are we going the Rangers route with a bunch of alternatives? You never know. You never know. Oh my God. Is there a stream link or anything? Because Haley's just saying that Claude Giroux just sat down to speak. So are they going live on the Flyers Twitter? Where the hell is the stream at? The Raz Gaming says, would you rather keep Ristolainen or trade him for a 1st-round pick? Every offer is on the table. Everything is on the table, in my opinion. If you can get anything for all of your free agents, get rid of them. Get as much assets as you can in return. That's what I have to say on that. Where is the stream? Where is this press conference? I want to watch the press conference. Oh my God. Where is it at? Where is it at? Let's see. So I just poked into Chris's stream, so he doesn't have it yet. Where is the stream at? Where's Claude Giroux? No, what? No. Come on, just show it. Jamie says Blues. So Yeah, there's definitely many offers on the table. Where is his press conference? I want to see it. Are they not live streaming it? Come on. Ah. Star says just came from someone else's live streaming. They can't find the link either. You're not the only one. Yeah, they're probably gonna post it eventually. Like this is just something that you can not post. Where is it at? Where is it? Claude Giroux, don't give me that shit-eating grin. Come on, where are you at? Ryan says 2023 first rounders only. Yeah, if you can get 2023 first rounders, I'd be very ecstatic for that. I would be. Seriously, where is the stream? Oh my god. Are they not streaming this? What the hell? So we got okay, this is one of the first comments from Gianna saying that knowing that the season started, Chuck made some great moves. Everything was going great. Then injuries started. It's been a tough couple of months. Claude Giroux said he's never seen this many. Okay, that's one of the comments. Where is the stream? Where's the press conference? Come on. Am I doing this for nothing? At the end of the day, I'm not doing this for nothing. I get to talk with you nice people in the live feed right now. But yeah, where is his press conference? Are they taking forever? Okay. Another comment from Gianna saying that we've had seasons we didn't make the playoffs, Giroux said, but this one is different because he sees how hard they were all working. The only word he has for it, frustrating. Yeah. Here we go. Finally.
What was the plane ride home like last night?
It wasn't too fun.
Let me share the screen again just to make sure it has the audio. That's probably why.
We want to win hockey games. We want to play the right way. It's just not happening right now.
You guys can hear it, right?
But obviously, the trade deadline's next month. We talked with Shop a few weeks ago. He essentially said that it's your decision, whether which direction it goes. Is that a decision that you've thought about, that you've made yet?
To be honest, I haven't talked to Chuck yet about any of this. I'm sure we will at one point. But right now, I'm committed to this team and start winning some hockey games and keep working as a team here.
Last year, you talked about you'd be really proud to stay in one place your entire career. Do you still feel strongly about that?
Yeah, I mean, it's the organization here. It's been great for me for the last 14 years. They treated me the right way. I had a chance to play with a lot of great players and had great coaches, and I feel it's an honor to be to been a Flyer this long.
How much will you
Why?
We're playing a good game. We're controlling the game, and then when bad things happen, and then the second. We're controlling the game, and then when bad things happen, and then the second one, and then it's just the only word really is just very frustrating.
what was the plane ride home like last night?
It wasn't too fun. No, yeah, it hasn't been too fun for a good amount of time here, and we want to win hockey games. We want to play the right way. It's just not happening right now.
But obviously, the trade deadline's next month. We talked with Shop a few weeks ago. He essentially said that it's your decision, whether which direction it goes. Is that a decision that you've thought about, that you've made yet?
To be honest, I haven't talked to Chuck yet about any of this. I'm sure we will at one point. But right now, I'm committed to this team and start winning some hockey games and keep working as a team here.
Last year, you talked about you'd be really proud to stay in one place your entire career. Do you still feel strongly about that?
Yeah, I mean, it's the organization here. It's been great for me for the last 14 years. They treated me the right way. Had a chance to play with a lot of great players and had great coaches, and I feel it's an honor to be
Wait a minute, did they stop the
to been
stream?
a Flyer this long.
Yeah, because they just, let me see, did they restart it or something like that? Let me see. Did they like stop it prematurely? Because I don't think they're streaming it anymore. No, they're not. They just randomly, abruptly stopped it. right from what it sounds right now, it really just doesn't sound like he's going to be talking to Chuck eventually, but they haven't had those discussions yet. So I really wasn't expecting him to say like anything that he was going to waive his no movement clause. I don't think he was going to do that at a press conference. They're most likely going to be doing that behind closed doors. So I'm assuming that was just a very, very short press conference from Claude Giroux. So really, you're not going to get anything right there. So sadly, it's just basically what he was saying. He's just really frustrated, but he really is committed to this team, which is something that I guess it's something that you gotta, cherish in that moment. Like, he enjoys being a part of this team. I just saw a tweet from NHL Rumors Daily saying it was just a whole lot of nothing. Yeah, that was basically just a whole lot of nothing. But like, I guess we should have been expecting something that big. Like, for what Charlie O'Connor said, it was really just they were trying to get his availability yesterday after the game. He just wasn't available because he was getting some type of treatment. So yeah, it sucks that, the way this season has gone, like, because you can just see it in his face, just that he's frustrated. He wants to win for this city, and it's just not. It just hasn't happened. The team just failing to build around him, just everything possible. It's just that it just sucks to see. You can see it in his face. Like, you can see the pain that's in his face. Like, he wants to win so badly for the city, and how much this is most likely eating him up. It sucks to see. It really does. I feel bad for Claude. I really feel bad for him, just because he wants to win so badly for the city, and he probably is putting a lot of the blame on himself for not being able to do that. And it looks like right now Mike Yeo is also talking for the Flyers, and I don't think they are live streaming that press conference, so they're most likely just talking about games for tomorrow. So right now, if I can see like what they're talking about. So from Kevin Durso, he's saying Mike Yeo says that the expectation is that Gary Mayhew back in the lineup tomorrow. Ristolainen and Patrick Brown will not play. Kevin Hayes is getting closer, but no change into the timeline and no update on Derek Brassard. Nothing else is new there. Other things. So yeah, Flyers Nation said Claude Giroux stated in a press conference that he has not yet talked to Fletcher about the trade deadline, but he knows they will have to soon. So like I said, I do feel like it was one of those comments earlier in the live stream saying that it's most likely going to come down to Claude Giroux probably is going to play his 1,000 game of the Flyer, and then during that stretch before the trade deadline, that's when they're going to trade him. That's what I'm expecting to happen. That's what I'm really expecting to happen. So there really wasn't that much. So let me look at more talks about what Yeo is saying at this point. So more things about Kevin Hayes. Like, why are we trying to force Kevin Hayes to come back? This is my issue. Why are we trying to get Kevin Hayes to come back for this season? If he is going to come back and get injured once again, and then once again need another surgery, what is the point? What is the point on having him play? I just don't understand that. I really don't. Like, that's the problem. That why are they forcing with Sean Couturier? Sean Couturier, my mind blanked a little bit. He has back surgery. He's out for the rest of the season. There's no point in having guys like Ryan Ellis play. There's no point. You're not making the playoffs. You're not going to be doing anything at this point. You're not going to be winning games just because of how bad this team is. You're not going to be doing anything. So why are you trying to force these guys to come back? Let them rest. Let them get healthy. Get whatever surgery that they need. Let them get ready for the offseason so they can properly train in the offseason and they're 100% for the offseason so they can be 100% by the time training camp comes next year. Why are we forcing these guys to play? Why are we forcing Kevin Hayes for all the crap that he has gone through this year? All the crap. All the surgeries, his personal life, everything. Why are we forcing him to come back and play? That's what I don't understand. So, talking about the blank checks that Dave Scott brought up so many weeks ago, the medical staff has to get completely wiped out. You got to be really resurface that medical staff, because I do think that medical staff is a huge, huge issue. And right now, it looks like Martin Jones will get the start tomorrow. It's not about how Carter Hart performed. It's about needing rest and Jones needing reps at the same time. So, yeah, they're trying to get Jones some trade value there. That's what I'm expecting at this point. So, yeah, there's really not that much. It was a very short press conference from Claude Giroux. This was from Dave Pagnota saying, as we've reported, Claude Giroux Brisson convo with Fletcher will come, but it hasn't happened yet. G confirms. Remember, Claude Giroux is 12 games away from playing 1,000 in a Flyers uniform. I believe that is important to him. Yeah, that's what I'm really expecting at this point. Claude Giroux, he wants to get to 1,000 games in a Philadelphia Flyers uniform because he means that much to him and he wants to get that much back to the organization. And then most likely you're going to be talking about the trade rumors. Because if we look at the Flyers schedule right now, so go to Flyers.com, look at the rest of their schedule. He's 12 games away from playing his 1,000th. So looking at the upcoming schedule. So you got this upcoming 8 games. This upcoming 8 games are going to be at home. So this is an 8-game homestand. So you put 8 right there. Then you got 9, 10, 11, 12. His 1,000th game would be on March 17th against the Nashville Predators on St. Patrick's Day. That would be his 1,000th game in a Philadelphia Flyers uniform. Well, just his 1,000th game in NHL, but it would be his 1,000th game in the Flyers uniform. So I'm assuming that's going to be his most, like, that's what he's trying to get to. And the trade deadline, I think, is on March 21st. So that is basically the whole weekend before, or the whole weekend after Claude Giroux gets his 1,000th game. That's what I'm expecting. So you get to the 17th of March, Claude Giroux gets his 1,000th game, you do the entire ceremony, you do all of that, and then you'll get all the news about him waiving his no-movement clause. And then you'll get to the trade deadline through basically that entire weekend, through that Monday at 3 p.m. That'll be the entire bidding war for Claude Giroux. I'm assuming there's going to be all those rumors going up leading up to that week, but most likely Claude Giroux is going to play his 1,000th game in the Flyers uniform, then he's going to get traded. That's what I'm expecting. Like, I know he's saying right now he would rather stay with the Flyers, but at this point, he's going to get back to the organization. He's going to play his 1,000th game, and then he's going to go and try to win a Stanley Cup with another team. I feel like Claude Giroux's interest, if he wants to help this team out that much, I think he wants them to get the best assets in return for him so they can be better for next season and for the future. I think that's what Claude Giroux wants to do. He wants to help this organization out as much as possible, even if that means getting traded. So, yeah. It's going to be tough. It's going to be really just it's going to be a tough situation. It really is, because it's going to be playing with our emotions. It's going to be a sad day. It really is, especially when he plays that 1,000 game. It's going to be a very, very like happy day, but also a sad day at the same time. It really is. So we gotta see him talk about Kevin Hayes. There's no reason for him to come back. Let him get healthy. Susan says to me, G just looked and sounded very sad. Yeah, man. Yeah, just for him, his entire career, he's trying to get back so much to this organization. I'm assuming he feels deep inside that he's failed his organization and he's failed his fan base. And it's not his fault. It's not. It really just isn't. Ryan says it's pointless bringing back Hayes. The season is done. I agree with that. I'm wondering if he's torn between winning a Stanley Cup and his loyalty. Yeah, he's definitely torn between that because he wants to commit his entire career to this organization. But I think at this point, he also has to think of, if I want the best possible outcome for this organization, should I request a trade so they can get the best assets in return for me, for them for the future? And then at that point, maybe you consider re-signing with them in the offseason. Who knows? Who knows? But I think at this point, like, you got to – those discussions are going to come up in the coming weeks, so don't worry about that. Then we got McGuire saying he'll come back next year, rental trade coming up. Yeah, you never know. There definitely is a chance that he comes back next year in free agency, but you never know. You never know. We got G is arguably the most underrated athlete the city has ever seen. I am 50-50 on if he might make a hockey deal next year with us to show his loyalty. You never know. Like I said, you never know if that is the possible choice of what happens next season. So, yeah, there's definitely a lot of choices that they can go through. So, like, I guess you could say, sadly, there really wasn't much in this press conference. It definitely just was the same thing, like what Charlie O'Connor said. This basically just was a post-game press conference that they couldn't get from yesterday's game, and they've been asking for availability for the past few days from Claude. So this is just one of those – it was just one of those press conferences. But you know those questions weren't going to be avoided. So Claude Giroux addressed those. He hasn't talked to Chuck Fletcher yet, but he most likely is expecting those discussions to come up in the next coming weeks. It's the same thing what Dave Pagnota said. They had like those discussions are going to come up. Him and his agent have not talked to Chuck yet, but they are going to probably in the next upcoming weeks. I'm assuming they're assuming that game 1,000 in a Flyers uniform is really important to him. So We're going to have to wait the next coming weeks. We're going to have to go through this schedule of Flyers hockey because the Flyers do have an 8-game homestand starting tomorrow with the Washington Capitals. And then they play the Carolina Hurricanes, St. Louis Blues, Washington Capitals once again to wrap up February. And to start the month of March, you got the Edmonton Oilers, Minnesota Wild, Chicago Blackhawks, and the Vegas Golden Knights to wrap up that 8-game homestand. And then looking at the rest of March, you got the Florida Panthers on the 10th on the road. You got the Carolina Hurricanes on the 12th. Then you're back home against the Montreal Canadiens on the 13th. You're off for 3 days. And then you have March 17th, St. Patrick's Day, which would be Claude Giroux's 1,000th career game in the National Hockey League. That'll be at home against the Nashville Predators. And then the weekend of the trade deadline, you're on the road against Ottawa on the 18th. And then the game before the trade deadline is this 20th, Sunday, against the New York Islanders. And that's the day before the trade deadline. Then wrapping up March, you got yourself a nice 5-game road trip. Detroit, St. Louis, Colorado, Nashville, Minnesota. And then you go into your April games after the trade deadline. So there's a lot of hockey to be played. Even though it's only 12 more games technically until Claude Giroux's 1,000th, it does seem like a lot, but it's going to come up on us quickly. It really is. It's going to come up quickly. So it's going to be a very long couple of weeks, but it's probably also going to be a very fast couple of weeks depending on how you take it every day at this point. So let's see what the Flyers do. I'm not really expecting that much. They're probably going to lose more just because they're just not that good of a team and how many injuries they are also dealing with. So there's a lot of things that, they have to go through right now. We got a EJW, how you doing, man? She wins his cup, get him back. Like I said, there are many possible routes they can go into this offseason and the trade deadline. I expect them to trade Claude Giroux, and I'm still 50-50 with him bringing back in the offseason. Like, do I want him to come back? I would love for him to come back, definitely. But then also, like, do you want to commit to that culture reset and let Claude Giroux go to a contender elsewhere in the offseason as well? There's many choices, but trade deadline, you have to trade them to get the best possible assets. I'm going to hate it as much as everyone here. I am definitely going to hate that, but it's got to happen. It's got to happen for the benefit of this franchise, and I think Claude does understand that, but at the end, I can't help but feel bad for him. I really can't. I'd rather there be nothing than the dude breaking down during a trade. He looks very upset. I just feel bad for him. I really do. Like I said earlier, he's probably felt like he's failed his organization and he's failed his fan base. I feel bad for him. And we as fans, we should understand that it's not him. He was never the problem. I know there's like a lot of those idiots out there that believe Claude is the problem. He is the reason this team has not won a Stanley Cup, and those, very small, loud individuals, they're probably going to realize something when Claude Giroux is traded. But who knows? That'll probably be the best day of their lives. So let's not give them, I guess, any second thought about Claude Giroux. Let's not give it any light of day. But yeah, I guess refreshing the Twitter page, just a couple of more. So right now, there really just isn't much news. It was really that short of a press conference for Claude Giroux. So, like I said, we're probably going to be getting more rumors, more news in the upcoming weeks until we get closer and closer to Claude Giroux's 1,000th game in the Flyers uniform. So basically, stick with us at the Flyer Podcast. Stick with Chris's page, FLYERSFANMANIA 93. Stick with me, TTP Sports, for all of your latest Flyers news, recaps, and events. Definitely will be posting daily for all of that stuff, Flyers recaps, news, updates. So definitely stick with us there. Don't forget to check out the Painted Lines wherever they are at. And yeah, Ryan, I completely agree with you. He did not fail the organization. The organization failed him. And also, definitely do not forget to use the code FLYERSFANMANIA and TTP Sports for $20 off your first purchase at SeatGeek. So that could be to hockey, basketball, football when that comes back, baseball, whenever the hell that decides to come back. Definitely the $20 could be used to take fees off of your purchases, and you can use that $20 to get a drink, food item at a sporting event, whatever you can think of. So yeah, definitely use the code FLYERSFANMANIA and also TTP Sports for $20 off your first purchase at SeatGeek. So thank you everyone for joining this Flyered Up podcast live stream. This is also going to be put up on Apple and Spotify as well. So definitely, if you did not tune into this live stream, it's going to be up there in the next couple of minutes, so you can listen to that after this live stream is over. So everyone here, thank you for joining this live stream. And also, okay, one last question from Dave. How do you think Giroux feels as Crosby nets his 500 against the Flyers? Makes him. I'm sure he definitely was pissed. I'm sure he was. It definitely just in that entire scenario, it was too easy to predict Crosby was going to get his 500 goal yesterday. It was way too easy to predict. So, thank you everyone for joining this podcast. It's going to be up on Apple and Spotify when this is done. So, in the next couple of weeks, we're going to be finding our rumors, our news. So, stay tuned with us, and thank you for tuning in, and I will see you next time.